Hello and welcome back to the Gloves Are Off. It's time for us to continue on with talking hockey. I want to talk about the Winnipeg Jets. If this team comes back, if the Thrashers relocate, can you see this team in Winnipeg as any other name?
No, it has to be the Jets.
Why not?
The uniforms, the fan base they had before. Everyone always says they miss the Jets. They don't miss the team of Winnipeg. So it's they have to.
Can you support a team by any other name?
Eddie Olchuk said we will be back as the Jets. You know what? I'm just sitting here thinking, what else would you name them? Winnipeg, Muskrats?
Well, you know what? There have been so many different suggestions.
Buffaloes?
That's one of the funniest things to read on all these blogs. And some people have said, it's a big place for aviation. Well, you already have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, so you can't go there. Where else do you stem from, and where else can you make a name from for Winnipeg? I don't know. Do you have any ideas off the top of your head? I only see the Jets, to be honest.
You know what? I believe the Jets will be there. At the end of the day, there'll be some concessions made between who and who. I'd have no idea because I don't know the story. But, I mean, it's the only name that I've been. I mean, I grew up in this era.
We actually all agree on this. The other side of this is, too, can you see hockey ever picking up again down in Atlanta, like in the South like that?
I can't. I mean, I've played there, and it's just the arena they have there. It's dark. It's just a boring setting to play in.
Is it almost depressing just to be in there?
It's all black, and it's just like the rink is black.
Yeah.
No racial comments here.
I
meant the rink is all painted black, and it's dark, and it's not a fun place to play.
It reminds me of the New York Coliseum.
Really?
Oh my God, that's just a dump.
Really?
Oh, it's just dark and dismal, and there's no life in it. And you'd think with all the Stanley Cups the Islanders won, when I played in it, I was amazed. Atlanta is just, you know what? They won't support it. If you're not winning in Atlanta, and that's most places, but especially in Atlanta, you're not going to have anyone in that building. And you can see that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk. I want to move on and talk football for a minute here. This was an interesting comment made by Ray Lewis. He came out and said he was doing an interview with Sal Paolantonio talking about this lockout situation. I have to read the quote just in case anyone hasn't heard it. Watch how much evil, which we call crime, watch how much crime picks up if you take away our game. If this NFL lockout happens, do you honestly think that the crime rate is going to go up? Do you think Ray Lewis is out of his mind, or do you think that there's actually some sort of substantial, a reason for this? He says it's because there will be nothing else to
You know
do.
what? I'm just trying to get the context of his comment.
He said
more than anything. No, I know what he said, but there'll be what? Is it?
He says there will be nothing else to do. That's his reason. The interviewer says to him, well, why do you say that? He's like, well, there'll be nothing else to do. Do you honestly think that Americans have nothing better to do besides watch football? I mean, come on.
It is a pretty big part of their lives, though.
It is.
So there's so many arguments for both sides. There's college football. They can watch that. College football is just as big as the pros down there, and it's
bigger.
Yeah, probably bigger. You're right. And but at the same time, there is a lot of people that's their main thing is talking about their football team, and say that gets them in the wrong path. I don't know. There's both sides to it.
Well, it's so big. I know. Kathy, my better half, who has Washington Redskins tickets.
Okay.
It's 15-year waiting list to get tickets to that. So it is a huge part. But you know what? I hope they walk out. I hope they're locked out. And I hope college football, and you know this, is so big.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think they can work. It's getting tiresome. I understand the player side. And I understand.
And now the rookie symposium has been canceled. That's the first official league event to actually be canceled since this all happened. And now that's happened today. That's all been canceled. So
well, it's like two big kids fighting on a block right now. The owners have so much power, and the players are just trying to get a little bit. I see it because the football career is so short.
Yeah,
these guys
long.
need to.
NFL.
I hope they work it out, but I just don't see it happening.
Okay, I want to move on to golf now. I know you have a very important golf date on Thursday with Aaron Strack, so we have to talk some golf. Tiger Woods, Brian Curran.
Oh, my man.
Fallen to 12th in the world rankings, dropping out of the top 10 for the first time in 14 years.
What do I think about that?
Is this the solidification of Tiger's fall, or do you think he will bounce back?
He had one of his best friends, I wish I could remember, it was on TV just this last weekend talking about him and where he's at and the injuries that he's had. Will he bounce back? You know what? I would never bet against him. I believe that certainly he hasn't mentally come back from all of this whatever
I
you
don't
want
think
to
he's
call
there
it.
physically, though.
But that's what I was going to next.
Okay.
I think that, quite frankly, his upper body is just way too big for his lower half, and the lower half isn't as strong.
And tearing your ACL from like just the torque of a swing alone?
Yeah, but Gord Kluzak, who was for Boston, he did the same thing. Boston Bruins, he did the same kind of stuff. He wrecked it golfing one day.
Yeah.
It was like his 13th surgery on his knee, swinging a golf club. It could happen. He needs to get away for a year. Needs to heal mentally.
Yeah.
He's going to come back, and in my opinion,
He'll be back at number 1.
No, he will, because he loves the challenge
Yeah.
of being number one. His
Do
mental
you think
game
he'll
is
bounce
better.
back? Do you see him climbing again the rankings, or do you think he's slipping?
Tiger Woods, I hope he comes back. When he was in his prime, he was the best, by far the best mental athlete that I've ever seen play any sport. So, and without all the other stuff going on in his life, when it comes down to it, watching him golf is it's a pleasure for anyone who watches. But
it's exciting. He makes the game exciting too. I want to see him come back. I think it would be great for the sport, the game itself.
But here's a better question to me. I wouldn't have such a hard time with what Tiger's done. Immense. Ask all the golfers how much money the purses have gone up since his success. But who's going to take? There's no other Tiger coming up.
Yeah.
If there was a Tiger type player coming up, like the kid from Ireland, Northern Ireland, who lost in the Masters in the final day. I mean, if that kid was ripping them off the tournaments one after other, you know what? Tiger kind of gets pushed to the side a little bit. And now it's like your Guy Lafleur, then Wayne Gretzky comes, then Mario Lemieux comes. The torch gets passed on. There's no torch here.
Yeah.
I don't see a torch of the next greatest player.
I think because it's such a hard game to excel above the rest of the field at, and what Tiger's done, that just shows how amazing it is, because it's such a game that with the numbers, it's so close. It's not like there's.
Well, your last player to be that way was Jack Nicklaus. So Jack Nicklaus all the way to Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
so who's the next kid?
Actually. Yeah, a big generation gap there.
Huge, because golf is so close. The parity is so amazing. These players you have one good weekend, you can win.
All right, maybe you will have a good edition of Who Am I, because we're playing Brian's least favorite game. That is
think
coming
the
up
whole
next
world.
on the Gloves Are
Oh,
Off.
that's